that said, so today I will be talking about the aspect of diet, why food is important, what kind of food, how we eat, what we eat, how we prepare what we eat, when to eat. All these are important questions. The question of when, the question of how it is prepared, how it is preserved, how it is grown. They are all questions that you need to ask yourself when you set your table, when you set your plate at the table. You want to ask the question of how is it grown from farm to market? Is it from farm to market or from laboratory to market? I mean, is it from farm to your table or from laboratory to your table? Where is that food coming from? Is it a synthesized? Is it a synthesis of various chemicals that have been mixed together, formulas that were created and then thrown at you with good packaging and good advertising, and then you purchase and then you land yourself? The question of how, it's important. When is also important. When is a very strong question that you must answer, because your body works with time. Your body is programmed to function around a particular time, and then when you don't understand the function of your body and why it is important for you to actually follow the function, the timing of your body, and you just think you can feed and eat anyhow, then you're going to run into problems. We will look into the question of when today as well. Okay, so I will start with then the question of what. So what is going to be where I'm going to start from? What exactly are you eating? The very question every one of us must answer, or must ask ourselves and give answers to every time we are about to take the spoon or take the fork and our cutlery. We have the food on our plate, on our table. The first question you want to ask yourself is this food contributing to my health? Is this food for nourishment? Is this food for health? Is this food, this meal that I'm about to take, is it for my nourishment? Is it going to nourish me? Is it healthy? Is it contributing to my health? Or is it going to kill me? And sincerely, whatever you put on your table, on your plate, is either killing you or saving you. It's either saving your health or it's killing you. And so I have this, I think it's a video, one of the videos where we talk about your kitchen should be can either be a pharmacy or a mortuary. Your kitchen can either be a pharmacy or a mortuary. Unfortunately, a lot of the times, a lot of the people, their kitchens are mortuaries, not pharmacy. But unknown to them, their kitchen can be a great pharmacy where everything that is coming out from their kitchen is helping the health of the members of their families. And again, I don't want people to think it's a gender bias, but of course, not just in Africa, across the globe, we know that the woman is in charge of the kitchen in most cases. So it's not an African thing. Which is what many people want you to believe. It's not an African thing. So it's just a general thing that is common in almost every tribe. Like, okay, the woman is in charge of the kitchen. So what I always want to say is that if you are the one in charge, whether you're the woman or the man, if you're in charge of the kitchen, you should know that the responsibility for the health of every member of your family rests in your hand, not in the hand of your doctors, not in the hand of anybody who is giving you medications or medical services. It rests in your hand. That is where you are. There is this Chinese saying that he who is taking medications and is not paying attention to his diet is only wasting his time and the time of his doctor. He's only wasting his time and the time of his doctor. The Hippocratic Oath, which is an oath that is sworn by, is an oath that is sworn by medical professionals whenever they are going to be admitted into the medical profession. It has been changed over the years, and now there are lots of additions to it. I don't know why, but now they have a lot of things that they've added to it. Okay, so but what used to be in the Hippocratic Oath is that you, as a doctor, you are going to use your health. You're going to use dietetic means. That is, you're going to use diet and nutrition in helping people to handle or resolve their health conditions. Today, the reverse is the case. People are not advised to use diet any longer. Most people are trained, instead of using diet, they are rather trained to use tablets, chemicals, and all the likes to treat people. You could go a long day with your doctor without having very practical advices on what to do with your diet to reverse your condition, which on its own is a terrible advice, and many people are on this route. Okay, and so what we are trying to talk about today is the fact that what exactly are you putting on your plate? What is it that you are eating? What are you feeding your family members with? And this basically, what I will always say about this is this: that whatever you are feeding them with, you want to be sure that it is food indeed. And when I say that, what do I mean? When you look around, some animals are even smarter than humans. I always give about two examples. Number one is the example of a goat. If you see goats are always having shiny skins, always looking clean. Not clean. They might not look clean, but when you see their skin, those guys are always, the skin is always shining. They smell because they don't take a bath. Okay, and you wonder, what do goats feed on? As a matter of fact, most goats, especially those that are raised in domestic settings, they feed on the leftover food, that we consume as humans. And what are the composition of those leftover food? For example, when we want to do our yam, we want to boil yam, we peel it, the peel, we throw it away. Goats, we go there, feed on the peel. Not just goats, the same applies to ants, insects. Now, if you put sugar, normal sugar, it drops on your plate, you will see a lot of intrusion. Ants will probably want to, should migrate towards it. Let me put it that way. They should migrate towards it. But you will understand that there are certain food that plants would, that these insects will migrate towards much more and even faster than sugar. Try any organic food. Place any organic food on the table and leave it for a while. Food that has not been touched with any chemical, no preservative. Put it on the table. Leave it for a while. You will see the migration of insects. You will see the rapid work and effect of microorganisms. They begin to grow instantly, and that is why they go bad quite fast. Of course, some of the things that science has done by introducing chemicals and some other substances to the food is to enhance the shelf life and to preserve. That is what science has done. But in the process of preserving this food, a lot has gone wrong. A lot has gone wrong with the health of the people that are consuming such food. And so it is not like we want to crucify science for making this option available. That is not what we are trying to do. Science tried to help, and that was why they did what they did, and they are still doing so many research into how to preserve food, make food more commonly available, avoid and reduce the waste and all of that, increase the shelf life of food across board. A lot of work is going on, a lot of research is going on in that regard. But that on its own might not be enough and might not be what science should think about. We should also be thinking about, how do we preserve the nutritional value of the food that we are trying to preserve. We don't preserve the shelf life, and then the food has no nutrient by the time it's getting to the table, which is what happens in most cases. Again, we should also think in science that we should not just increase the shelf life of the food alone, while the things we use in preserving the shelf life of the food would have adverse effect on the health of the people who are feeding on this food. Apart from that, there are some other colorings. These colorings would help to improve the look of the food, drinks, food, and so it becomes more attractive. It resonates with it triggers certain hormones in our brains that will also increase our appetite to eat or to drink such food. Yeah, science has done that. And there are so many chemicals, there are so many flavors, so many colorings that are also added into food to do this. But at the end of the day, some of these colorings, WHO has a list of most of them that have been labeled as being carcinogenic. Carcinogenic means that they could cause cancer in the body. And so what exactly are we talking about here? Are we talking about preserving life at the long run, or we're talking about killing people or making them eat what is sweet? There are certain enhancers, taste enhancers that are put or added into food. At the end of the day, it enhances the taste of the food, but it does not only enhance the taste of the food, it also does some other damages to the bodies of the people who are feeding on them. And so what we advocate, or what we will talk about mostly, if you have been following us at Nutritional Solution, what we'll talk about mostly is the fact that as much as lies within you, as much as you can, try to return to nature as much as possible. By saying that, we mean ensure that the things that you are eating, they are as close to nature as much as possible. Avoid things that have been denatured. Avoid food items that have been packaged, packed. Avoid food that have left what they used to be. Now they are in an integrated, hybridized state. For example, Genesis chapter 1, Genesis chapter 2, Leviticus, Exodus. When you search all through the scriptures and so many other holy books, not just the Bible, they talked about the fact that every seed, every fruit is seed bearing. Bible calls them seed bearing fruits. That is the name given to them. Seed bearing fruits. But when you begin to come to a place where you begin to have seedless banana, seedless orange. Banana doesn't have seed, right? Seedless orange, seedless tomatoes, seedless watermelon. You are writing an invitation to trouble gradually, right? Of course, are we going to grow? Yes, science will increase, but the movement for preserving nature the way it is growing and increasing by the day. If you look around right now, the global warming, climate change issues is at the front burner. A whole lot of us, some people are not concerned. It seems like they're not touched or affected now. But when we take a deep look, what has led us to where we are today? One of the things that have led us where we are is industrialization. And what is industrialization? Is it a good thing? Yes, it is a good thing. It came with so many good and positive. Our world will not be where it is today. Many of us, we are in various parts of the world as I'm speaking with you right now. Some of you, the timing where you are, the time zone is 7 p.m. Some of you is 6 p.m. Some of you is 2 a.m. Where I am right now is just 11 a.m. And I'm talking with you effortlessly. It's part of the advancement in technology. But the fact is that as much as we are using all of these things, and then we are advancing in technology, the side effect is taking a great toll on our world as we know it. It's taking a serious toll. It's taking a serious effect. Of course, I do remember while growing up, we started talking about planting trees. This campaign is not 20 years. It's over 30 years now that tree planting had started. And why did people come up with that? It's because they saw the rate of deforestation. How trees and forests had been taken down because they needed the trees to do so many things. Part of what they use them for is for building houses, construction purposes. Some of the uses is to make paper and all of the likes of them. But here we are today, 30 years later, 40 years later, our world has not yet recovered from the numbers of trees that have been, numbers of forests that have been deforested and removed. We have not recovered. And now we are seeing winter in summer. We are seeing summer in winter. We are having Christmas without snow. The order of the world seems to have changed and collapsed entirely. Why? We are departing seriously from nature, and the things we are trying to use to make up for most of these things that we are doing, they are not really working. Okay? So what will be my advice? Okay? I cannot save the world, but I can save myself and I can save my family. I think that should be a good starting point. If you can't even save the world, try to save yourself, try to save your kids, and try to save your family. So that's what we're talking about here. So when you look into your what do we call this thing right now, where you keep your food, your pantry. When you open it up, you check your storage, you check where you keep your food and all the likes. Check, look at the items there. How many of them are actually natural? How many of them, you open your freezer, how many of the things you have in there are still in their natural state? That would be a question you should ask yourself. If what you have there as an introduction, okay, if what you have there is on the level of 70 to 30, some people use 70 to 30, 70% not natural, 30% natural. Some people, their own is 100%. Everything they have there is cosmetic. Everything they have there is not natural. For example, the fish they feed on is the fish they find inside cartons or packaged cans. That is the fish they take. The rice, in fact, their rice, in 3 minutes, the rice they eat can be ready. That is what they feed on. Instant noodles, that is what you will find in their store where they keep their food. If that is the kind of pantry you have in your house, then don't look too far for the reason you are spending so much money on health. Don't look too far. It is not the people from your village, the Nigerians on the broadcast will understand when we say that. And I also want to thank other people who are here from other communities. Okay, so some of the things we want to learn from each other is also interact from various cultures, understand what works, what is working in our cultures. Okay, so there is no shame in that. We can talk about that as long as we break it down, make you understand. And then we're also open to learning from you as well. Okay, so they understand. So it is not people from the village that are doing you, which is what people allude to, especially people of color. We always believe that there is one power somewhere sitting on our health in our family that is not making us to live long, making people to die at a young age. And people are not dying because of, because of some powers. I believe that people are dying because there are, there are a lot of negligence, ignorance on the things that we should know that we do not know. Again, most times we rely solely on what our doctors tell us. But this will shock you. In medical sciences these days, doctors are produced, they graduate from school without running at least a 24-hour course on diet. So the doctor is not a dietitian. The doctor is not meant to give you dietary advice. That's not what he's meant to do. And so he might not be able to give you the right, the right advice that you need. So you need to really think about what you are feeding on and what you are feeding your family on. What exactly do you have? What percentage? If you can reduce it, start immediately. Start by cutting it down. You can start doing 30-70-30 for natural food. That's even too low. I would advise 50-50 would be a good starting point. Try to start from 50-50. Of course, the other kind of food that the food that is placed in containers and the likes of them, those food are there, they make life easy for us. They are very fast. We don't have to worry about cooking them for too long. For example, your instant noodles, the kids love it. It saves time for mommy and the likes. Daddy too can do it on his own and just throw some eggs on it and then the meal is ready. But at the long run, what does it say to the health of the family? So that answers the question of what do you eat? The general rule that I always give is that try to eat your food as close to nature as much as you can. If you can do 100%, blessed art thou. The Queen of England is going to be 95 or thereabout, or she's already 95. Yeah, the Queen is 95. Before she lost her husband, she was driving herself. I think if you look at her these days, she's becoming so frail. And largely, I believe it's because of the mourning period and the things that she's gone through. Okay, so what has kept the Queen that strong? I will tell anybody if you really want to know. One of the things that they do in the royal family, and not just the royal family, I wouldn't be sure of when President Trump was in office, but I'm very sure of And I will also be most certain that President Biden will be doing the same thing in the United States right now. But most of these presidents and leaders of the world, they feed on organic food. 100%, most of the time. I wouldn't say 100%, but most of their meals are organic. President Obama, when he was in office, the White House was able to feed purely, solely on organic food. In fact, they had a garden, they had a greenhouse where the food taken by the first family was grown and raised from there. A few of my mentors and colleagues were consultants to the White House, during that regime. And some of them still are, still working for the White House. So they consult. For the Queen, the treatment used for the royal family is not the orthodox medical treatment. That is not what they do for them. So they rather want to lean on natural health most of the time than using the orthodox medicine, which is for the common people. Okay. So the idea of using natural health is not only genuine to us in Africa. It's not genuine. It's not only known to us as Black people. A lot of cultures. One of the things I was talking about last year when the pandemic was at its peak was that every culture has their own civilization. Before doctors came, there were people that were handling medical issues in every culture, and nobody should call it primitive, because at the time that was the best they knew, and it saved some. Though it killed some still died, but it saved some, and that's just the truth. Now, the advancement in technology and medicine have probably been able to save more lives. Give it to that. We can't take that away, but at the same time, we cannot actually rule out what people have been able to achieve in their cultures, in their own civilization. So when I talk about herbs and then talk about natural health, a lot of the things that we disdain are the things that people like the Queen still use, the kind of the tea they take. They will still want to take some natural teas, fennel, fenugreek, a lot of natural stuff, ginger are the things that they take. They won't take the ones that have been processed. And then, let me talk about Africa. You see, before now, Africans when people suffer in Africa and they suffer from oppression, we kind of curse out the leaders and we want them to die. We wish them dead. We wish death on them. Some people do that. But unfortunately, most of these leaders go on to live long. And I will give you an example of a country like Nigeria, where almost every leader in Nigeria has gotten a farm. They invest so much into agriculture. Most of the food that comes to their table is coming fresh from farm to their plate, not frozen. The richest man in Africa, I dare say, I have not been to his house, but I won't be surprised if he does not consume most of the products that he pushes out to the table of people every day. It has been. Some people have hypothesized that every family in Nigeria contributes at least 10 naira a day to that man's business, because you must use one of the products that he's making. I look at his sugar, I look at his salt. These are salts, these are sugar products that are not healthy in any way. If you really want to stay healthy, that is not the kind of salt that you need to take. I want to start going into the nitty-gritty of salts, sugar, and some certain food. We will talk about that next week when I will be discussing what I call the dirty dozens. Dirty dozen is like a topic that is common to our youth camp. We have a youth boot camp where teenagers meet once in a year, and then when they do meet, it's so much. It's very interesting when you see those young kids come together and then they practice the things we teach them in 3 weeks, and they come back and they share their experiences. So one of the topics they talk about is the dirty dozens, and then I'll talk about that next week. So I'll just highlight 12 food items that you should be afraid of if they are still on your table. If they are still on your plate and on the list of food you take in your house, you want to get rid of them ASAP. Okay, I'll talk about that next week, not tomorrow. Tomorrow will be more about I'll be talking about supplements tomorrow. Okay, so having said that about what to eat, I want to move to when to eat. Okay, so when to eat is as important as what to eat, because you might be eating the right stuff, but you are eating them at the wrong time. If you are feeding on the right stuff at the wrong time, it's like you're putting a round peg into a square hole. I don't know how to say that, right? That shouldn't be you. It shouldn't be that person. You really want to find what works for you. Make sure that your food, your eating pattern, your eating time, your feeding time is appropriate. For example, I read on the timeline somebody who eats at 12 a.m., 12 midnight. Okay, you don't want to do that. You don't want to be that person who eats at 12 midnight. At 12 midnight, your body is going through a particular process, and then you have to respect that process for your body. And someone says, I've been doing that for years. I agree with you. Okay, so when you buy a vehicle, sometimes I want to refer to our body like a vehicle. When you buy a new car and the car is servicing you, you want to put it on the road. You see, the car doesn't get old. You don't knock your engine at once. From the factory where the car is made, they ensure that the nuts, the screws, everything is tightly fixed and put in place. But when you drive on some roads, I don't want to mention places where you see those such roads where there are potholes, all the bashing, the heat on the impact of the bad roads. They have a way of, causing wear and tear and damage to come on that vehicle with time. It won't happen once, it's an accumulation. So after 1, 2, 3 years, the car is not what it used to be. Especially if you do not take time to service and to maintain that vehicle. It could be something else in 3 years, okay? And then you put a lot of mileage on that vehicle. It tells you the health of that vehicle. The same thing applies to your body, okay? So you might probably have been doing this for a long time and nothing seems to be happening, but it's a matter of time. When that thing starts, it might be very, very difficult to reverse. What I say again is this: the body in the wisdom of God is so intelligent. One of the most, I don't want to say one of the most intelligent things that God made, but the truth is that every creature that you find, when you look at it and study them, there's a lot of intelligence that has gone into them. The reason I do not want to believe that anything or all the things that we see, they just evolved or emerged out of nothing. The blueprints that you see when you study most of these things shows that the blueprint shows that there's an intentionality by a creator somewhere, okay? And then it's the onus is on us to sit back and ask for the intention of the creator, why this is this way. I don't want us to be like men. You know what most men do? We men, we are fond of buying a device and not reading the instruction leaflet, manual that comes with the device. We trust our senses that we can figure it out. Just like a man is going somewhere, he doesn't know where he's going, and the wife is telling him, turn to your right. He won't listen to the man. Some men will not even listen to their GPS. And they will keep driving. Okay? And that is the way most of us live our lives. And then we see warning signs and we do not pay attention to those warning signs. And then we end up crashing. And we're wondering, how did we get here in the first place? Okay? The question is, there was a manual that accompanied the product, but we ignored it. You bought a new TV. For most of us, even at our phones, at our telephones, our hand phones that we carry about, for most of us, we so many of the time, many times, we don't engage 20% of the functions and the benefits of the phones we carry. I don't know how many of you have been seeing some TikTok stuff that would say, I bet you don't know your iPhone can do this. Some people don't know that the iPhone they carry, the iPhone logo at the back of their iPhone can be a button. It can do many things that you condition or program it to be. It can take a picture, it can take a screenshot, it can do anything you program it to be. And many people don't know. And this is a feature that has been in iPhone, I think iPhone 11 or iPhone 10. Now there is iPhone 13 Pro Max. Somebody would never use that feature on iPhone 10 or iPhone 11. He's already trashing his iPhone 10 or iPhone 11. He's buying iPhone 13 Pro Max. And that is the way humans behave. We are following the fashion, the trend, not necessarily the functionality. I bless my dad. Thank my dad for giving me that. knowledge. My dad will always say to us while growing up, he will say, it is function, not fashion. So that is his ideology. Ideology is that, look, does this thing serve the purpose? If it serves the purpose, then there is no need to change it. But many of us, it's the other way around. It is the fashion for us, not the function. I just finished a consultation with one of my clients. He's a man who is already in his late 60s, and then he's a professor. He's still active. He's still going. He's still lecturing. And then his son pulled him to come, use my services, and we've been with him for about 3 months. And then today, I asked him the first question: "How are you? How are you doing?" He said, "Doctor, I'm doing very okay. I feel better within my system. The diet, I love it. I sleep better. Blah blah blah. But everybody is asking me, why am I looking lean? I'm losing so much weight. Blah blah blah." And when he was saying that, I was just looking at him. This is a man that is facing a terminal illness. If care is not taken, that it could progress to a terminal stage. Okay. And my first thought was like, what's this man talking about? Should we be talking about how you look right now, or how we are saving your life? All right. So I told him something. I said, this is the irony. You are healthier right now than most of the people who are complaining about your look, because we believe that the bigger the size of the person, the rounder the person looks, the fatter, I'm using that word with respect right now, the fatter the person looks, the healthier the person is. Okay. And those days are past. People are getting to know there are cultures in Africa where they practice fattening. I don't know that part, but there are cultures like that where before a lady can go to get married, they will send her to a fattening room where she's going to be fed, and then she will be made fat. Okay, because they believe that they don't want her to enter into her husband's house malnourished or something. I don't know why they ever do that anyway. But what I'm trying to say is that we believe that the bigger person is the healthy person, not knowing that it's the reverse. As a matter of fact, the moment you are entering into the obese stage on the BMI scale, you're already becoming a lot susceptible to so many conditions. So I was able to tell him the reason we have found ourselves in this condition that you have right now is because you had excess weight, and it makes you to be susceptible, to be predisposed to several health conditions. And this is one of them that you're having right now. And that your body is losing that much weight is telling you that something is happening on the inside. And from what you are saying, you are better on the inside. When you are better on the inside, it's a matter of time. It's going to reflect on the outside. And then the healing process will be easier and faster to happen. So, I mean, they were just, himself and his wife were just laughing at the end of the day. They both were like, oh yeah, doctor, we got it. We won't mind them. So when they talk to you about you are losing weight, tell them to mind themselves and mind their own health and shouldn't bother about you. And I told him, you will get to a particular weight and your body will adjust and you won't be able to lose further weight. At that point, your body has gotten to its equilibrium. Healing can take place. Disease reversal will be easy to maintain. And then you can actually begin to focus and keep on with what you are eating and not change your diet. And that is the stage you want to get you into. Your body can heal itself. So I was talking about the intelligence of the human body. So the human body is so intelligent. God has made it in a way that it can heal itself with or without the help of medications. And I've proven, I used to give examples of how that can happen. If you have a cut in your hand, your body will heal itself. When we were growing up, a whole lot of us, when we want to hide those injuries from our parents so that they don't see it and apply methylated spirit that will hurt you more. So you hide your injury, but the injury will heal itself. None of us died because of this. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. It could be fatal in some cases, but we survived, we lived, and they heal themselves. Sometimes you have a cut and we even do the very nasty one. We lick it up and then swallow the blood. Some people will tell themselves they don't want their blood to waste. So they suck the blood and then take it in. Okay, they don't want their blood to go to waste. Oh, the things we did. Okay, so but without even applying anything, no medication, no first aid, that injury in 2-3 days is already closed back. Skin is already grafted and growing back there. It has healed itself. That is one sign of the fact that God built reverser into the human body. The human body is able to heal itself with or without anything, so long it is properly fed, and then contaminants are removed from the body. The body will heal itself. When somebody has gotten a broken bone, a fracture, or even a broken bone, most times there is no medication. The bone healed for the bones, they would heal from within. What they do, like they put a cast around the bones, the broken bone, is because the healing can only take place when the bones are still joined or they are attached together. So they grow into each other when they are attached together. When they are separated, that becomes impossible. So that's why they put a cast around the bone. And then whatever medication the person is taking, maybe it's to relieve the pain, to knock out pain. Well, that's not making the healing to take place. If the person feeds well, in a matter of time, the person gets back. There's also supplements that the person can take that can expedite that healing process, because you are supplying the nutrients that the body requires to get that done. So the body can heal itself. The third example I can prove that I can give to you that the body heals itself is the fact that when you see anybody who is getting cancer, in most cases, the cancer has been within the body of that person for 10 years. And the body has been handling it, managing it, resolving the cancer cases so it doesn't get to a stage where it becomes alarming. Before cancer becomes an alarm, the body has handled it well for over 10 years. In most cases. I'm not speaking about cancers in kids or children right now. I'm talking about cancers in adults. The body has handled it well in most cases for about 10 years. So what I'm trying to say in essence is that the body has a built-in mechanism to heal itself and to reverse any disease condition, provided it is properly fed. But as we grow up, two functions, people by now should understand when I say two functions decreases with time. Two functions decrease with age. As we grow, they decrease. One of them is our ability to digest food, and the second one is our ability to sleep. Our sleep functions decrease as we grow older, and then our digestive function also would decrease as we get older. Let me repeat that statement. Our sleep function decreases as we grow older. Our digestive function, our ability to digest food, also would decrease as we get older. A baby that is in the womb for 9 months does practically nothing most of the time than to poop and to sleep. Okay? They do a lot of movement, and you will feel the movement. For people who have been pregnant before, you will feel the movement of the baby. That's when they are feeling uncomfortable on one side and they are doing a movement. Aside that, they are used to a life of sleeping. And so when a baby is born, the job continues. There's something the baby does than to sleep, to eat, to cry, and to poop. The rest of everything going around them in life and about life is none of your business. Whether you wear on them a Prada or you wear on them nothing, a baby doesn't know the difference, right? So it's you that is getting yourself worked up unnecessarily. As long as that baby can feed, and then when the baby wants to cry, nobody's saying don't cry, and the baby can poop without taking permission from anyone, the baby is okay. So but as they grow older, they become more aware and they can stay awake. Even when they are in their first year in school, kindergarten, daycare, crèche, and the likes, they have to create nap time because you can't keep them awake for more than a particular number of hours. I remember that even when I was in elementary 1 or elementary 2, we have nap time when we take about 15 minutes break to rest and cool our brain and sleep, then you wake up again, and then you keep going on. Okay, but when they grow into becoming teenagers, you now start begging them to go to bed. So it's kicking in. Now they can stay more awake and they can go. And then when they begin to grow to like age 35, 40 in some cases, when they sleep and the sleep is interrupted, they find it difficult to go back to bed again. You see, and some people get to that age that without the use of a supplement or some sleep aid, they can't even sleep at all. What is responsible is the melatonin factor. Melatonin is that sleep hormone, which is in abundance in babies when they're in the womb. Melatonin is also a growth factor. Of course, it helps in stimulating other agencies of growth and development. And so when growth and development is complete, melatonin, the work of melatonin is no longer, and that is why they say a person can grow your height. Your height, you can't grow taller once you get to a particular age. Although I have seen several exceptions to that. I grew taller. I was still growing in my height even after I crossed the age of 18. If I think my height still changed at 22. So I guess that, and I've met people also who had such stories. Yeah, who still grew taller even after they passed the age of 18. Okay, but what is responsible is that the melatonin ratio had dropped, considerably, and that happens to many people as well. So that could drop. So our sleep function decreases. The second that decreases our ability to digest food. So I always say this, that when you give a 16-year-old healthy boy the same portion of food that you give to a 60-year-old man, they both eat the food. Let's say they both have the meal at 2 p.m. and then by 4 p.m., I can guarantee you that the 16-year-old boy would be parading the kitchen like a vulture, looking for what else to put into his mouth. The 60-year-old man probably is still crawling like a snake, looking for ways to digest what he has fed on. The reason is that at that age, he no longer can digest food the way a 16-year-old boy would digest food. Activity can be a function, but it's not just activity. A whole lot of other things are involved that makes that, that is responsible for that. So how does that impact on when we eat? If you have followed us for a long time, the acronym DAR will not be strange to you. Some people actually talked about, I talked about that last week, this Sunday, while we were kicking off this program. I mentioned the DAR, and I said that our bodies go through a 24-hour cycle, and this 24-hour cycle is divided into 3 phases. Each phase is got 8 hours, and then during these 8 hours, the body is going through a peak function in each 8-hour phase of this 24-hour cycle. In 24 hours is broken down into 3 8-hour phases. Each phase of the 8 hours has something the body is doing. Each 8-hour phase, the body is doing something as a peak function. Okay, and these 3 functions are: number 1, detoxification; number 2, assimilation; number 3, rejuvenation. By now, if you're an enthusiast, you should know that at the back of your hand. The first function is detoxification. The second function is assimilation. The third function is rejuvenation. So I will break that down. The first function that the body does, which is detoxification, is that runs from 4 a.m. to 12 noon. That's the first 8 hours. From 4 a.m. to 12 noon, detoxification is the body's own internal ability or arrangement to exit from the body waste products. Of course, you see people, or you have met people who don't poop, who don't use the bathroom, who don't go to the toilet to defecate in 2 days, in 3 days. I have seen somebody who does toilet once in a week. Yeah, I've seen such people. Okay, that again in itself is a serious problem, because the transit time, when we say transit time, we mean the time from when food goes into your mouth and the time at which the waste product from that food process, digestion, and everything exit your body. The transit time should be 24 hours. So I say sometimes from mouth to your, to the toilet, it should be maximum time should be 24 hours. If in 24 hours you don't have bowel movement, that is a serious problem, because it's either your body is not exiting the right amount of toxic materials, thereby is saving and storing them up within your system, which is a precursor or a red carpet laying preparation for cancers and many other conditions from thriving within your system. So when you are seeing all the terrible names of conditions that are evolving and you are wondering where are these things coming from, these are the reasons. Because the food we eat also would determine how often we would go in to the bathroom to use to poop. Some people are not so some people don't know that garbage in, garbage out is not only a computer term, it's also a term that is relevant when it comes to what you eat. So when you feed your body with garbage, then you're going to exit garbage. If you feed your body properly, then your body will exit normally. We detoxify normally. So there are so many areas. There are so many. Not so many, but there are a few of them. But there are more than 2 ways that our body would exit waste product. That is one of the reasons we talk about fitness. One importance of fitness is that it enhances one important part of the body to exit waste products, to detoxify. And that part of the body, which is the largest organ in the human body, that is your skin. Fitness would, when you engage in workout, exercise, you sweat. It enables, because your skin is the closest to almost all the cells and the organs in your body. So it's easy for them to move their waste products from those cells and push them towards the skin, and they are exited through your sweat. There are people who don't sweat at all. There are people, by virtue of the things they do, the way they live their life and their lifestyle, they don't sweat at all. And so their body is not exiting waste the way it should. Again, I think somebody was saying that is why they recommend that fitness should be done in the morning. Yes, because the DAR circle supports that, because the peak function your body is doing in the morning is detoxification. Many of you, I don't know whether it happens to you, if you find it difficult to use the toilet for a while, but go for a workout. I don't know. Sometimes for me, it happened that after a fitness session, my bowel movement comes. There is an urge to quickly go use the bathroom. It comes. Why? I have moved things within my system. And then the waste that have been storing up, they are finding, there is a movement to push them out, like a machine, it's like a machine. So there is a movement. It's like, or let me use the word, like when you shake a bottle, you have a bottle in your hand and you shake it. When you shake it, if it's a bottle that has carbon, what do you call it? Carbohydrate or whatever. They put not carbohydrate. Sorry, I don't like it. That's why I don't remember it. What carbonated? Yeah. If the drink is carbonated and you shake it, you discover that look, everything's good. If you don't shake it, it stays in a place of rest. Like, oh, see that drink. Oh, that drink is good. But until you shake it, when you shake it and it is carbonated, a whole lot of the content is going to push out. It will push up. Even your champagne, you shake it and then you uncork it. It's going to just rush out. That is one benefit that fitness gives to you. When you partake in the fitness routine, the Tai Chi, the workout in the morning, and people are wondering, how does this make me healthy? It's not just to lose weight. Like I told you at the beginning of this program, we are not just here to talk about losing weight. It's about keeping you fit, keeping you healthy. And then when you're healthy, it's going to be easy for you to begin to appreciate these other things that begin to move towards and gravitate towards weight loss. Weight loss will come naturally when you do the right things. So don't, some people are just obsessed with the idea of, I want to be a figure 8. Let me bring to you the bad news. Or maybe it's the good news. All of us cannot be figure 8. That is the bad news. But the good news is that we all when we engage in some of these things, we all can be healthy. And I think that is better. Instead of you fussing about your figure, you want to. I'm trying to look out for someone. I'm not sure she's on this broadcast. I don't mention people's names anyway. But sometimes I refer to cases. It's only known between me and that person. You wouldn't know. Okay, so when this person joined our services, she was like, she's gotten a wedding coming up in about 8 months, and she wants to fit into the clothes. I'm sure she has perished that idea right now, and she's still with us. She's still very active on our programs. I'm not sure she's on this broadcast, but she's still active with us. Now, she understands the importance that, look, this thing is not about losing weight and being a size 8. That is not what it is. And so when you watch those Instagram models, you see all those things, please don't get the wrong idea. Don't be carried away with the hype, because that is also the other extreme that this lifestyle and fitness is tending towards right now. And a lot of people are pushing the wrong stuff. That is not what we want to push here. We don't body shame. We don't. If you watch some of the videos, you participate in the morning during the Zoom event, you see people who are there. The Tommy, look, Tommy, when Tommy comes, I'm talking about the big Tommy now. When he comes, the prayer is that you don't get it, okay, by doing the right thing. But if you have gotten it, for it to go is not easy. It takes a whole lot of time. But if it's not going away, as long as you are staying healthy and you are keeping healthy, you're good. Keep to it. Keep living well, eat right, have a good lifestyle, that your tummy could go back to a 6-pack. I'm not guaranteeing you that. And we are not, that's not what we are preaching here. That's not what we're trying to do here. Somebody preaching that, but I do here. People who join us in the morning, some of them are not just starting the program. Some of them have been with us for a year or two. We don't body shame. That is who they are. They come out with their bodies, they show it, they participate in the program, and that is good. That is perfect. Many of them are healthier than people who think they have 6-packs. Okay? I'm not also trying to say 6-packs is not good. That's not what I'm trying to say. But I'm only trying to say that should not be your goal. Your goal should be staying healthy and being fit. Okay? And being fit means, it has a whole lot of things. If you have decided to have 6-packs and you've done that at a particular age, you've grown into it, very good. Maintain it. Don't go down into now losing the shape of your body. But if you have found yourself in a place where the 6-packs are lost, what you have is 0-pack. Don't kill yourself over that. Don't lose your self-esteem. All you're supposed to do right now is seek to be healthy, seek to be fit, and by following the things that we talk about and the things that we do, and I can guarantee you that you will definitely get there, and you are getting there. Because I see it every morning. I see your determination when you come up. For those people who join, I see the hunger, the passion, even when it's not easy. And I'm like, that is just the spirit. So keep up with that spirit. Okay, so going back to when to eat your food right now, which is what I've been beating around all the while, is that so in the morning, when the body is doing detoxification, what we advise is that don't do cooked food. Instead, do meals that are not cooked. Raw food should be your idea of what breakfast should be. And why do we say that? Is because of the first thing I said, that as you grow older, your ability to digest food without an external aid decreases with your age. Of course, as you've grown older right now, your body cannot digest food as it used to. So every cooked meal, this is another thing that you need to note. Every cooked meal, a meal that is cooked is dead on arrival. Will I repeat that? Every cooked meal, a meal that is cooked is dead on arrival. Every cooked meal is dead on arrival. Cooked meal equals dead meal. Now, do I mean? Most of the nutrient factors in the food we consume, they are denatured at high temperatures. They are denatured at high temperatures. Of course, some people have postulated correctly that one of the reasons why the longevity numbers are reduced with time, and when you check also with time, is the fact that as technology and advancement increases, longevity decreases. How do I mean? Check people who live up to 900 years, 800 years. They weren't eating cooked meal. Evolution, whatever they want to preach, go and read. Go and read. No, nobody. They weren't cooking their meals. All the meals were raw. Even those who eat flesh, the flesh were raw. So that I know they wouldn't be eating so much flesh. They were not eating so much animal protein until they began to devise other methods like roasting, methods like frying, methods like seasoning. Those methods would be methods that would increase the feeding of flesh by humans. But before then, they don't cook meals. They don't even roast meals. So probably most of them probably will be having a vegan diet most of the time. Okay, so until they began to devise means of, okay, let's roast, let us fry, and then and as that happens, now look at the human longevity potential as it begins to decrease with time. That now somebody who lives 100 years, how many people even live up to 100 years? How many people? A country like Nigeria has less than 4% of the population in Nigeria, above the age of 60. People who live up to 60 years in Nigeria, they're less than 4% of the population. Yet, they're the ones who will rule the country, who are ruling and who will still rule in the next election. So, the point I'm trying to make is that the way we eat our food will determine how long we live. Okay? So, when we eat also will determine it. So, our food, when food is cooked, all the nutrients are denatured, they are removed. So, it's best to eat our food raw. And when I say eating our food raw, I'm not saying begin to eat your beef raw, eat your fish raw. Of course, sushi grade fish, they are available. People eat those. If that's what you have chosen to do, yep, good for you. But my advice is that eat more of raw food. And when we say raw food, we're talking about veggies, we're talking about fruits, we're talking about smoothies, those things that can be cooked, that can be eaten raw without cooking them. We're talking about making your smoothie in the morning, eating your fruits in the morning, making your juices in the morning, having some very healthy, super healthy vegetables, making them in the morning, juicing them, and then giving your day a very great boost, a very great start to your day. You don't need to use all this performance enhancing and the stimulants that people take. There are so many stimulants people take these days, energy drinks that people take that are very harmful to people's health. That is not what you need. You don't need them for your health. What you need are, natural food. And then if you can do that in the morning, you have given your day a good boost. Then in the afternoon, you can have your cooked meal if you must. And then in the evening, because in the afternoon, what your body is doing so much of is assimilation. Between 12 o'clock and 8 p.m., your body is assimilating. This is where the body is converting the food and the nutrients in them into usable format that the body can adapt to carry out its basic functions. And then in the evening, rejuvenation from 8 p.m. to 4 a.m. This is where the peer work is taking place. This is also not the time to eat cooked meals. Unfortunately, this is the time many people eat cooked meals. So the body is not able to rejuvenate. There's also a theory to that. I can't, because of time, I won't go into that, because every day, 50 billion cells die off in your body, and 50 billion new cells are reproduced to replace, the dead cells. So God help you. The cells that are dying, if they are the diseased or the sickly cells, you should try as much as possible to replace them with healthy cells. And one way to do that is by feeding properly, eating healthy, and doing the things that we've spoken about. So how is the last one I will talk about before we round up for today. The how is our food prepared? How is our food preserved? How is our food grown? It will be a question that we will keep asking, and they will confront us. Okay? Some people who live in Lagos and Lagos especially, most of the people who spoke were people who live in Lagos. And unfortunately, Lagos is not the only, it's not the only fast-paced city in the world. There are several others. Chicago, New York, London, Toronto. You have so many Hong Kong, you know, you have so many cities in the world where it's fast paced, everything is moving. But seriously, I understand the fact that it could be a challenge for you. That is why, please, if you have not gone to order for the book on Amazon, or you could download it on Kindle, Super Health for people working in fast-paced environment. You need to go get that book. Um, get that book. It's going to be very helpful for you. It's going to really help you to navigate, your health in the midst of a very busy challenge. Busy lifestyle that you have. One of the things that I was going to put on the group, which I would do before the week end, is to do a 12-minute quick thing that you can do for your fitness. If you have found yourself in that category, something you can do in 12 minutes that can move your heart rate, because that is very important. It's important that 3 times in a week, at least minimum 3 times in a week, you move your heartbeat, your heart rate. Your heart should move from the comfortable, the sedentary level, the normal rate, and move it to beat faster, which is one of the things that fitness does. This is going to save you from heart attack. It's going to save you from hypertension. It will save you from sudden cardiac arrest if you would do it 3 times a week. Sorry. So I will throw it into what you can do in 12 minutes, but you must be committed to it. To that 12 it could be the first 12 minutes of your day. It could be 12 minutes after you say your prayers in the morning before you get into the bathroom. You need to, incorporate that 12 minutes into your schedule. If you cannot come online for 30 minutes for the 21-day challenge, incorporate these 12 minutes into your lifestyle and do it every day so that you can move your heart and save your heart. Save your heart, so your heart doesn't go into something else. Save your heart, okay? So I'm going to say this. So how do we grow the food? Like I said earlier on, that what we're trying to do is to ensure that your stuff, everything you eat, is as close to nature as possible. So let us desist from agricultural tendencies or practices that tend to denature foods. There are lots of them. The use of chemicals, use of genetic modification. There are things that we want to do away with. What about preservation? Preservation also, the use of chemicals to preserve food, packaging food in containers that are unhealthy or harmful. For example, some of them contain aluminum foil, aluminum layering inside of them. We want to, desist or, get away from all of those things. That's the how we preserve the food. And how do we cook the meals? Even for those that we must cook, how do we cook them? There are so many cooking practices and methods that are unhealthy. If you subscribe to our YouTube channel, please, you can go scroll through. There are detailed videos that have been done on this, which you can use and will help you. So for the sake of this 21-day challenge, I want to plead with you, when you're cooking your meals, ensure that you engage in practices that are healthy. For example, I talked about salt earlier on. For some people, they even put sugar. They add sugar into their cooking. There are cultures who also do that. They add sugar into their cooking, and I'm asking why. Who does that? I put a video, my own first TikTok video. I put that TikTok video on the 21-day challenge, and there was a couple. They were having a quarrel about how to fry the plantain, and then someone said, I think it was the husband who was saying that the wife would put salt while trying to fry their plantain. I know some people do that, but my question is, does plantain really need salt to fry it if you must fry it? I don't get frying on itself. It's a practice you want to reduce to the barest minimum, and if possible, you want to get rid of from your cooking, your cooking method. If you can, please do away with frying, or you do less of frying. I know people who can fry anything. Who can fry anything. Some people can even fry water. They can fry water before they, we fry everything. For people who are from the western part of Africa, they fry everything. Their own rice is fried also. They can even fry their rice. Everything is fried. It's not healthy. You want to reduce the number of fried stuff that you do, because the more you fry, the more you have these saturated fats coming into your system, and that's not healthy. Aside from the weight and all of that, it's not really healthy. It's not something you really want to do. So it's something we want to look into. Some of the practices, how it's so key. How do we cook? So many cooking practices are not healthy. So use of salt, a lot of, and then there is this thing I will talk about salt. There are conditions that are palate specific. Your tongue, your taste buds could actually help you to note and control certain conditions. Okay. For people who have diabetes, you would know, even if you don't know readily, that you could be having diabetes. One of the things you would know is that your taste for sugar is a bit higher than that of other people. How do I mean? For example, everybody is having a cup of tea, and the tea is poured from the same jug, and everybody feels okay with the level of sugar. Somebody who is having diabetes, who doesn't know, probably wouldn't be okay with that level of sugar. They still want more sugar in their own tea. For hypertension, some people who have hypertension don't know this, but their taste for salt is at a higher level than every other person. Everybody is eating food from the same pot, and everybody feels like the salt level is okay. Somebody who has hypertension feels they can't even taste salt in the food. They'll be like, why is there no salt in this meal? It's because those conditions have some specific demand from your taste buds, from your palate. And so if you're not careful, you're going to start feeding the condition. Okay? And that is what they want you to do. They start pushing you to feed those conditions instead of you feeding your health. Okay? And so our habit of salting food also has to be checked. Again, what is salt in itself? Now, the common table salt that people feed on is not actually a healthy salt. And so that is why you see them fortifying it with vitamin A. Salt in its natural state has about 26 minerals in them. And these nutrient factors would do your bodies a whole lot of good, which is the reason we would advocate or suggest that you use unrefined sea salt while cooking. If you must do salt, do unrefined sea salt, not salts that have been processed or refined. And you have example, unrefined sea salt, Himalayan salt, or the pink salt as it is called, are examples that you can use for cooking and use for eating. Nobody, if you want to live healthy, should be found with refined salt. Refined salt has nothing to contribute to your health. Aside even the anti-caking agent that is included in the salt to preserve it and increase the shelf life, you don't really need it. That on its, the anti-caking agent on its own has some other, unhealthy factors in them. You don't want to, go that route. So my advice is that as much as you can, that you please try to pay attention to your cooking pattern. Then people will also fry. Frying, as simple as it is, it's something that must be done with caution. But unfortunately, it's something we do throwing caution into the wind. The oil we use in frying, the duration of frying, a whole lot goes into that. And for people who do, who buy their food from outside, it's something you want to pay attention to. So when you go to all those fast food or restaurants, I know some restaurants that they change their oil maybe once in a week. Everything is repeated in the same oil. These oil have a boiling point. They have a threshold. And once that threshold is broken, then they are denatured. They become polysaturated. At that point, they're no longer healthy. Many people don't know this, so they keep eating and ingesting the bad oil. And then we have the bad cholesterol building up within their system. Cholesterol itself is good because your brain requires cholesterol to function. Reproduction itself requires cholesterol. But what kind of cholesterol makes up the major portion of the cholesterol in your body? Is it the bad one or the good one? So which cholesterol are you putting into your system? So that also is a function of the kind of oil that you feed on. The palm oil that people talk about that is bad, nothing wrong with palm oil, so long you cook palm oil and you use palm oil in a healthy way. Now, in most cultures, especially the cultures that are living healthy, you'll discover that oil is used as a dressing, not really to cook. They use it as a dressing. And how do I mean? After the food is ready, the last thing they put is the oil. They most times don't even cook it. Sometimes. But in some of our cultures, we fry our oil, we overeat the oil, and then we denature it. At which point the oil has lost all its nutrient factors, and then it has changed. It has changed. The structure has changed into something that is no longer healthy for our body to ingest. That is the danger part of it that we want to avoid. When we talk about the frying aspect. So you want to really pay attention to frying. If you can, please run away from frying. Hair frying is another alternative right now that is going on, and people are gravitating towards air frying. You can air fry your food, your plantain, your yam. You can air fry them. You air fry without using oil at all if you have to. That is also an alternative you may want to employ. There are so many other things that we'll talk about. This is just a start. Tomorrow, like I said, I'll be talking more about supplements tomorrow. Tomorrow, I'll be wearing my cap as a herbalist tomorrow. So, and I know that I hope you know a herbalist is not a voodoo man. Because in Africa, what we have been programmed to believe that a herbalist is a voodoo man. A herbalist is not a voodoo man. He's not a juju man. So I wear the cap of a herbalist. Herbalism is a serious topic right now that is being studied by so many. And this is also one of the facts that I want us to pay attention to. Unfortunately, some of the practices that we are running away from because of our civilization, they are practices that the people that we look up to for civilization are adopting from us. So it's like we are being scammed on every level. So the things are telling you not to use and that, this and that, they are gravitating towards those things and using them these days. And you will see it in the adverts. Again, one other thing I'm beginning to observe as I watch international TV is that many adverts now are using Black people. It's like they are targeting Black power, Black dollars, Black money. And I'm like, I hope my brothers will not fall for all of this trap. Don't fall for this advert. We have things that are working. They know these things, and gradually they are taking up these things and they are using it to their own advantage. Let us use them to our advantage. And I'll be speaking about some of those things tomorrow in great details on this clubhouse. All right. Thank you, everybody. If there are questions, please don't be shy. Just migrate to our WhatsApp page. If that is what is comfortable for you, you can do that on our WhatsApp page and throw your questions there. I will be talking about those questions there. Again, this is our first program every year. It's our offering every year. It's for free. We do not charge for it. We do it for free every year. This is probably the third year we'll be running this program right now. We have other programs. They are not as free, So some people just take this first one and then they run with it. Okay, so it's like this is funny, right? Whenever I remember this, it makes me laugh. When COVID came, and somebody had gone to tell people after hearing from us that these are the things you can do to help people who have COVID. And so they were doing those things. Some were getting results. Many people were getting results, as a matter of fact. And I know quite a number of people in the medical profession who had to work because of the nature of their job. And then, in fact, I have so many doctors who were working in the UK, in the US, who were telling people, don't do those natural things they're telling you to do. But their spouses were consulting me, and I was giving them the things to do, and they were using them and giving it to, oh my God. Uh, that was a time. COVID is an experience. We're still going through it, but so this person had gotten ahead to just give this prescription. You take ginger, you take garlic, you take this, you take that. You use vitamin C, you do zinc, 50 milligrams, and all of that. Thanks to Dr. Ajayi. He's not in the clubhouse. I guess he's sleeping. He needs to in his own time zone right now. I guess they're already in night. He needs to sleep. Dr. Ajayi is a PhD holder. His PhD is in biochemistry. And then at the time COVID started, he was working. They had this global network of biochemists and researchers all over the world. They were all working together to, unearth certain things about the virus. But one funny thing is that everything that we were using, right? These guys had researched them. When I say everything,